if this may be a little deep right here, but if Dr. Khalid and Brother Malcolm were here, what would the world look like in 2021?
You know, brother, I think that if Dr. Khalid and Brother Malcolm were here, I think that certainly the world would be a better place, because there is a wicked phenomenon that's actually tied to scripture. If you notice that in both the time of Pharaoh in the Old Testament and Herod in the New Testament, they wanted to kill the males of the enslaved people whom they were oppressing in their infancy. Now, Dr. Khalid was not an old man when he died.
Very young.
Malcolm was only 39. Dr. King was only 39. So we are marveling at their greatness when they were really on the precipice. They were on the cusp of their maturity and coming into the fullness of their greatness when their lives were taken. So one of the beautiful things that Minister Farrakhan's life, you know, whether you're a member of the Nation of Islam or not, just pause to reflect that as a student of Black history, we have a national prominent leader who has been blessed to live and still be active at the tender age of 87. We haven't really had that before. And so I think to have Brother Khalid, Brother Malcolm, Dr. King lived, the world would be in a much better place. Our people would be in a much better place, because we would have gotten a chance to benefit from these great brothers as they matured. You know, I don't think the same way I thought when I was 21. I'm 45 now. I don't think the same way. I don't think the same way I thought when I was 35, you know. Someone said that the great heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, said, you know, if you think the same way today that you did 20 years ago, you just wasted time. You didn't grow. So, you know, all of us, especially those of us in the movement, sometimes I sit and I see what goes on in social media and I get bothered, because I see powerful brothers, brilliant brothers and sisters, and then they begin to argue and fight with each other. And then their followers argue and fight with each other. And I said, wow, the white power structure is looking at us and they happy, because some of the best and most brilliant minds among us haven't matured to rise above knee-jerk emotional reactions to appearances of disrespect. And that's one thing I learned from Minister Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan is mature enough and secure enough to take criticism. A few years ago, Brother Fred, the minister was rebuked by John Conyers, who was the great erstwhile U.S. congressperson. And he was not long after that invited to John Conyers' tribute. And of course, when he showed up, it was almost, you know, it was kind of a little tension in the room, because, you know, wow, you know, Farrakhan showed up even after the representative, you know, criticized him in the press. And so when it came time for Minister Farrakhan to speak, his words were to talk about all of the things that John Conyers had did to help him in the early days of the rebuilding of the nation. And he closed his commentaries with what, you know, I consider to be a mic drop moment. He said, so if my brother rebukes me, my brother has earned the right to rebuke me. And so that was a great object lesson for all of us. You know, brotherhood and unity should be a larger principle around which we prioritize our work, so that we don't allow, even sometimes we rub each other the wrong way, to cause us to begin to see one another as enemies.
D, can I ask a follow-up?
Sure.
Yeah. how do we heal the fractures? Because you have people who love Elijah Muhammad, you have people who love Khalid Muhammad, and you also have people who love Malcolm X, and it seems to be like a me just on the outside looking in, just huge fractures. You know, what I mean, some may say, I mean, there's reason to believe that the mosque in Newark um, murdered and or assassinated Malcolm X with the help of the government. Some may say Khalid Muhammad was unjustly disbanded from the Nation of Islam. So we have these fractures of black men who draw courage from strong black man like Khalid Muhammad, humble servant. I'm just, this is just what I see of Elijah Muhammad and or the unbreakable will of Malcolm X. How do we heal that?
Well, I think that, you know, I draw again a lot, Brother Fred, and tell me my brother's name again. It's on the DB, Brother DB and Brother Fred. I draw a lot from the example of Minister Farrakhan because, you know, to be quite frank, if it was not for Minister Farrakhan's emphasis on healing the wounds, I would not have the mature perspective that I have. And Minister Farrakhan has said that, you know, we have to first and foremost see each other as brothers. If I see you as my brother, it's just like we have biological brothers.
Sure.
Sometimes blood brothers, we disagree. We don't always get along. But normally, unless there's an outside force interfering, we're not going to become so disagreeable that we want to kill one another. When you see brothers at that point, then that's an indicator that there's an outside force. And that's always been the case. We're seeing it now, and I haven't seen the movie, but people have been texting me and inboxing me about the movie, about the assassination of Fred Hampton, and they're showing the inner workings of the government. And you see, the U.S. government has always been involved in making strong black groups see one another as enemies. That's a part of their documented plan. So that's not even hidden. That's well documented. And we have to understand that. And we have to always be willing to give one another the benefit of the doubt. And really, as you said the right word, Brother Fred, healing. See, I want healing. I don't want to see anger and rancor and bitterness between those who love Malcolm and those who love Minister Farrakhan. I don't want to see rancor and bitterness between those who love Brother Khalid and those who follow Minister Farrakhan. It's unnecessary because it does not help us as a people move toward that which is best for all of us as a people, which is freedom and independence from our collective enemies. So I think that it requires maturity. It requires sincerity, genuineness. And I recoil sometimes because for all of the benefits of social media, it gives to anybody who wants it a platform. But sometimes when you give a powerful tool to those who are not really mature enough to use the tool in the right way, the tool is frequently misused. And so if you and I have beef, Brother Fred, I feel like I could do that offline. You and I could settle that offline. I don't have to do that online. You see it, and I see sometimes it's like issues that could have been solved with a phone call, we take to air it before the world. And so we have to mature as a community. And Minister Farrakhan gave us this principle, and I'll shut up on this point. Mm-hmm. He said, you know, in our lessons, there's an aspect of our lessons that says that the original black man searched all over the planet Earth and chose the best part of the planet Earth for himself to live on and to build a civilization on, and that he did not care about the poor part of the planet. So Minister Farrakhan went on to expound and say, we are from the earth. Our flesh is from the soil of the earth. Our blood is from the water of the earth. Our bone is from the stone of the earth. So we all are like the earth. He says, so when we engage brother to brother, sister to sister, let's settle on the best part of one another. We don't care about the poor part. I'm not interested in the negatives of Dr. Khalid. I'm not interested in the negatives of Brother Malcolm, because to me, whatever they did that's negative pales in comparison to the good that they did that is still touching the lives of people. And I think that's moves us closer toward healing, is maturing and putting our egos to the side.
Yeah. Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
It may be tough, but it's a conversation I have in my head.
Sure.
Daily, super daily, you know, especially in February with Elijah Muhammad on the 25th and Khalid tomorrow and Malcolm X on the 21st. The because you mentioned the internalness, right? How it should be done internally, but in the research, like in the it was called the Muhammad Speaks before that, right? You see Malcolm X head dribbling down the sidewalk. You see the energies from what I hear, like how John Ali speaks. You're more abreast than I am.